It's the 1st of May today, and I woke up with my mind feeling all rush and thinking a lot. And I realized that today it marks a year and a half since I left Barcelona, since I left my job, my old apartment, and yeah, basically my life there. I moved to Barcelona in 2018, and I was officially there until the end of till November of 2024. And I say officially because I still had my job and my apartment up until that point. Before that, the last 2 3 years that I was there, I was already traveling a lot. So I would say I wasn't spending more than 6 months a year in Barcelona. Um, so I felt like I was kind of like one step in, one step out of the city and the life that I built. And honestly, when I moved there back in 2018, I really wanted to leave Argentina for a long time. And I ended up deciding to go there because I knew that going to Spain, it was the easiest way for me to get the Spanish citizenship. And I knew that having a European passport would make my life easier in any ways, in every way, especially around traveling and being able to go to different places, experience different places, and have this freedom of choice at the end of the day. So I went there. I had to be there for a year, and then I started the process. It took about like 2 years and a half for me to get the citizenship, and that was like a big milestone. And honestly, my goal with moving was never to actually live in Europe. I actually wanted that tool to then decide what to do. And I found myself kind of like repeating more or less the same life that I had in Argentina, but in Barcelona. It was kind of like a copy paste version, an improved version, of course, it was. But it was basically the same. I found a job that was related to my degree. I started working there. I started earning more money. At the pandemic, I started traveling working online, and I kept on doing that even after the pandemic. I never went actually back to the office, which was great. I was a really big part of this freedom that I was looking for. I had a nice apartment. I moved to an apartment alone in 2020, which is something that is not really normal, let's say, in Europe, because if you are from there, if you ever been there or lived there, you know that rent is quite expensive. So I got a really good deal in the middle of the pandemic. I got an apartment downtown for myself. It was actually not that small. It was quite dark because it was in the Gothic neighborhood. So if you've ever been there, you know, like streets are tiny and I had barely any natural light. But it was amazing. It was amazing. It was like a big milestone that I reached living alone. Then I got into this relationship that I thought it was going to be okay, but then it was quite all the time like on and off, and yeah, never really felt loved by that person, honestly. And it really took a big toll on my confidence, on the way that I see myself, and that ended in 2023. So in 2024 was the year where I started, actually it was 2023, but 2024 was the year where I started asking myself a lot of questions, because in 2022, in July of 2022, my mom committed suicide, and she was struggling with mental illnesses for most of her life, and mostly the last, yeah, 2 years were really hard for her and of course for everyone around her. So after that happened, I started asking myself a lot of questions, as people normally know when something so terrible happened, because sometimes you need something really bad happening to shake things up and to help you decide different, to help you take a conscious look at your life and saying, hey, I don't think this is the life that I want to be living. I don't think this is what I'm here for. And I knew it. I kind of like always knew it deep inside, but I never knew what was the next step, or what was the other path that I could follow. So 2023 and then 2024 were 2 years where I started looking at what is that I want to do. How do I want my life to look like if I don't fit into like the normal expectations of what I should be doing? And yeah, it was terrifying, honestly. It was terrifying to look at the life that I built up until that point and realizing that, yeah, that what I said before, that it was the same life that I had in Argentina, that it was the same life that got me like physical symptoms, that it wasn't okay. Like back in Argentina, I used to have all these rashes over my body. I used to have these constant headaches every single day. It was just something that I got used to at some point. And that wasn't a way to live. Then I left Argentina and some of that disappeared. So I was like, okay, yeah, nice, I'm in a better path. And yes, I was way more conscious. I had way more freedom and a different perspective on life. But at the end of the day, I realized in 2024 that I was waking up in the morning and not really wanted to get up, not really wanted to, like, there were mornings that I was just crying at 7 a.m. because I didn't want to go to that job. It was something that I really didn't like. The environment, there were like some people that were like really, not really much. So there were a lot of like emotional charge on that too. And yeah, at some point I had to be honest with myself and say, hey, this is not it. This is not it. I do not want to wake up 5 years from now, 2 years even from now, and find myself in the same place. And yeah, maybe having more money and maybe being able to take better holidays, but what's the point if like on a daily basis I am feeling like this? I am feeling like I am not really happy. And for me, the breakup point in general, when I started like being really serious about changing my reality, my life, my situation, it's when the bad days start to be like more bad days than good days. That for me, when the balance start like shifting and I have more bad days or bad moments than good, then I realize that something needs to change. And I saw it. I saw it with my mom. So I don't really want to allow myself to have bad days for an extended period of time, because I know what that can do to your mind. I know what that can do to your health. I really know it. I know it from like a first person perspective. So I know that when I start feeling like that, something needs to change. And that was exactly what happened back in 2024. I decided to start this coaching business, and I decided to leave my job. I had savings, so I was like, yes, I don't feel like I am happy in this life anymore, in this version of life, in this staying there. And I remember like thinking some days like, Why can't I feel happy in like a normal life, in just going to work, having my friends, having my apartment, meeting someone at some point, and just like having this regular life? Like, why? And I remember like being really mad at myself, like, why can't I feel happy like this? But there was something inside me that was like, this is not it. And you can keep pretending that it is, but at some point it will keep showing up. It's those things that they are inside of you, and if you don't address them, they keep showing up. There is like no other way around it. So today I was reflecting on that, and all the things that happened in this last year and a half. And at the beginning I felt really bad, honestly, because I was like, wow, it's been a year and a half and I still haven't made the progress business wise that I wanted. I still haven't created the stable income that I wanted. I still haven't created even the impact that I wanted. And it's been a year and a half. And I started like being really hard on myself, of like, what do you do all this time? You've been wasting this time, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And that's the way that it normally goes. If you let your brain, it will always find the negative part. It would always find what's missing, what is lacking, what is still not there, because our brains are wired for the negative, because that's how our brain kind of like keep us safe. So it's a conscious exercise to do the opposite. And after like half an hour of like really beating myself up, I started thinking like, okay, let's just wait a second. I started journaling, and I'm like, okay, what are all the things that people actually do not maybe celebrate enough, or maybe say enough? Because yes, that's a reality. Like, some of the goals that I had related to my business haven't come true yet. Okay, that's a reality. But what else is a reality? It is also a reality that I dare to take a huge leap of faith, even if it hasn't paid out yet or whatever. That I dare to take a huge leap of faith, and that I had the courage to live a life that I knew it was breaking me, that I knew it was making me miserable. And I decided to live that. And I decided to start a new path, even with no guarantees. And that is something worth celebrating. It's been a year and a half that I lived a life that wasn't making me feel anything but alive. I was traveling while working remotely, and I wasn't even enjoying it, because I knew that I had to get up and get into this job and doing this thing that I didn't like, and just working in another person's dreams. And just, I knew that I couldn't go farther than what I was. And this is something that always sticks with me. And I remember looking at my boss's life, and I'm like, I don't want their life. Then what am I doing here? I do not want their life, and it's okay. I mean, they love it. It's wonderful. That's not what I want. So, and then I started thinking about all the things that I actually did in this year and a half. I'm still here. I'm still creating. I'm still open. I'm still trying to find a way. I have met beautiful people. I have met the most amazing human beings. I had really incredible experiences. I traveled all around in this year and a half. I went to places that I didn't even think possible. I went to, like, for a month and a half, I was traveling in Africa with my boyfriend. Like, that whole sentence for me, it's like, it's still crazy to think about. It's still crazy that I am able to say that. Like, what? I went to Colombia last year with one of my best friends. I went to Egypt. I've been here in Bali last year, and I am here again. It's crazy. It's a beautiful place, full of wonderful people, like nature, a huge like kindness, and a feeling like I am starting to feel this place like home somehow. I don't know if I will stay. I don't know how long I will stay, but I am starting to feel this place like home, at least for now, and like a place to stay put and do my thing for a little bit. And how amazing is that? How wonderful it is that I got to choose all of this, and that I am still choosing, I am still creating my reality, and that this is just the beginning, and that I don't care if I ever have to like go back to like whatever, a normal job for a little bit to have some money and just keep betting on my dream. If that's what it takes, I'll do that. But in the meantime, the ability to look for the good, the ability to appreciate the things that are actually good, appreciate the things that actually worked out in this last year and a half instead of focusing on the ones that didn't, that small shift is what actually changes all. And actually, that's the work. That's the work. If you ever listen to any manifestation, to any teacher like that, to whatever, I love Joe Dispenza, I love Abraham Hicks, well, and plenty more. But like, if you really understand what they say, it's like that's the work. Because it is always easier, to stay stuck and circling inside the things that are not going well. That's easy. That's what most people do. Making yourself feel miserable because things didn't happen. Thinking about the what ifs. Thinking about like blaming circumstances, other people, blaming even a past version of yourself. Doing that won't change anything. It won't. And that is also, and this might be a little bit controversial, but that is also, I think that in general, talking therapy just help you up until a point. Because talking about what's wrong and talking about what's wrong again and again and again and again, it just keeps perpetuating that thing time and time again. You don't move forward by talking about the past. You don't move forward by focusing on everything that is not going the way that you want. You don't. The only way to move forward, the only way to get something different, to get different results, is to act different, is to focus on the good, is to keep thinking about the things that you are grateful for, to keep appreciating all the things that you did, how far you come. Because if you think about it, like I think about it in my life, it's remarkable, it's amazing. If I think about all the things that I did, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I am sure that in your life, even if it's one area of your life, there are some things that are unbelievable that you did, that you overcame. I am 100% sure. What if you focus on that? What if you focus on what is going great in your life right now? Because again, whatever you focus on, you will get more of. You will amplify that. So start amplifying the appreciation. Start amplifying the things that are going well. And that's a choice. That's a choice, and that is something that you need to practice. The same way that I told you that today I started the day feeling off, feeling bad, feeling overthinking, and just feeling about like thinking about all the things that went wrong. But then I catch myself, and that's the work, catching yourself and redirection it. Let's not go there, let's go here. Let's go here, let's go to the good. Let's start feeling better, because what's the point of feeling like crap? You can do that all day, but that won't change anything. Taking responsibility, acknowledging the facts that, okay, that's what happened. Perfect, it already happened. You won't be able to change the past. I won't be able to do things differently before, like in this year and a half. Whatever happened, it already happened. It doesn't make sense to just keep crying over spilled milk. I think that's I think that's the phrase. It doesn't make sense. You can do that, but it's not going to take you anywhere. But taking responsibility, knowing that it's your responsibility, the way you feel, it's your responsibility, the way you think, it's your responsibility, the things that you focus on are your responsibility. That's the work. That's the work. It's coming back to what's good. It's coming back to what is working. It's coming back to how far you have come. From that point, from that perspective, from that energy, you can then go and create the things that you want. You can then go and amplify what's already good. So I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to start practicing that, to start practicing like catching yourself in the moments that you go automatically to the negative and think about, okay, that happened, but what's good? What are some good things that are going on? What is great in my life right now? What can I appreciate in my life right now? Because that's the work. I'm gonna leave you with that today. Hope you have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow.